Hi and welcome to Safe in the Real World. I'm Ahmed Said and today we're going to be talking about the lean portfolio management function. Now I said function and not roles because yes, it is a function. You could have multiple roles within this function and it consists of business managers and executives who understand the enterprise financial position, and they're also responsible for the portfolio operations, the strategy and also the execution as well. Now there are three key things that they're going to be focusing on, and that's the finances of the Agile Release Train, the operational aspects of it, and the governance. So when we're looking at the lean portfolio management function, actually it's one of the things that when I'm introducing SAFe in an organization, it's one of the things that I would do later on. I would look at focusing on making sure that the Agile Release Train is well formed and it's working really well, and then after that I would look and see how we can support the lean portfolio management function to actually help the Agile Release Train to fulfill its objectives. Now the one thing though that I would say that's really important is, and that's frequently missed out, is that lean portfolio management function actually requires a shift in mindset, and very frequently these functions have traditional waterfall backgrounds and mindsets, and we need to try to shift those first. So that's what this video is about. We're talking about 4 key mindset shifts that are really important for this function to help the overall enterprise to become more agile. So let's get started. Okay, the first shift is, look, in a traditional waterfall model, we really aspire to try and get perfect knowledge. I want to know everything that's going on. I want to know in advance, and I want to know as much information as I possibly can. Now, as you well know, in an agile environment, that's not only not possible, but aspiring to that is not actually desirable. It actually leads us to down a path that can be very problematic. So what we want to do is we want to get just enough information, and we want to get that just in time. So as an example, if I'm traveling from say London to Scotland, right, that's my vision, that's my destination, I want to go to Scotland, I need to have just enough information about that. So what do I mean by that? I want to I need to light the road just in front of my car if I'm traveling at night. I don't need to light the different multiple lanes that are around me. I might not need to light up the sides of me. I just need to light up and understand what's ahead and what's in front of me. So that's what we mean by just enough detail, just enough information. Okay, sure, it may be comforting for me to travel during the day, but it would be unnecessary from a point of view of actually achieving the overall outcome. Now, the next thing is just enough information, just in time information, right? So what do we mean by that? We don't need to light up the entire route from where I am all the way to Scotland. You just need to illuminate the next 30 or 50 yards, and then as we traverse that, it will illuminate the next 30 or 50 yards. And that's what we mean by just in time information and just in time knowledge as well. So please bear that in mind. Right, the next mindset shift is around siloed budgets. Now let's just say, for example, we're creating the next generation of mobile phone, and we'll call that Pear. All right, and so it's got a couple of key things in that mobile phone as an example. Let's just say it's got wireless remote charging, and this is a little bit different because it does it kind of automatically. As soon as your phone's in your home or in a designated location, automatically charges, and let's just say it charges in a couple of minutes. Okay, as you can tell, I'm just making this stuff up, right? So you got wireless remote charging. And the next thing that we could say is, let's just say it's got a holographic projection device. Okay, so it's pretty cool, maps, 3D, all the rest of that. Awesome. Okay, so these are this is basically our vision, but in a traditional program, what we may do is we may say, okay, we'll call that one project and we'll call that another project. We'll give this a certain budget and we'll give this a certain budget. Now the problem with that is that when we come to doing something like that, we actually inadvertently create silos of pockets of money, which actually impacts the prioritization. So what we actually want to move to is, from this kind of model, we want to move to something that talks about, we want to provide a budget for the overall vision. Okay, and so now we have a feature backlog, basically, that is prioritized based upon value to the overall program or to the overall vision. Okay, and so this can now very easily switch between here and here. So during the course of the project, if we find out we wanted to spend more money on this area because it was a higher value, then it would be very easy for us to switch from that. Not so in a traditional model. Okay, right. Next shift, mindset shift, is one of what I call standing armies. I'm actually seeing this quite a lot, even in agile organizations or organizations starting the shift to agile. They tend to have what I call these standing armies, and they're reasonably inflexible actually, which is kind of ironic. So what do I mean by standing army? I mean a team or an agile release train that's the structure of which is almost cemented in. It's very unpliable. It doesn't move very much. We want to move to something that's more flexible. We want to be able to flex that art. And how do we do that, you may ask? Well, the first thing is that the lean portfolio management function needs to support the creation of a roadmap. Okay, so imagine we're in our current program increment. That's our time box, if you remember, for the Agile Release Train here. What we want to do is we want to understand what the roadmap is going forward. So this is our next PI. We need to take a step, and as a lean portfolio management function, we need to ask ourselves, what is it we want to do, right? First question, what is it we want to do? Next question is, what skills do we need to actually fulfill that? And then the third question is, what's the delta between what we currently have and what we're going to need? Okay, and because in most organizations the HR function can take some time, we do want to have a slight look at that ahead, and you can then have the ability to flex and contract the Agile Release Train on demand as needed. Okay, so that's the third mindset shift that I want to talk to you about. All right, now lastly, the fourth mindset shift is one of tracking. So this is I am continuously checking Big Brother, tracking how everybody is doing, to from that mindset of report tracking and other checking up on people, to more greater participation. Can you see the shift in that? It's a subtle, but it's a significant shift. It's more about participating and encouraging and being involved throughout the process. Very important. So from the point of road mapping, PI preparation, during PI planning, during your Scrum of Scrums, during your system demo, during your inspect and adapt. Hope you know what all of those ceremonies are. If not, go to the scaledagileparamework.com, go to my website, sprintzero.com, or subscribe to Safe in the Real World series, where we'll be covering all of these in a lot more detail. I hope you found that useful. Please do subscribe to Safe in the Real World series, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.